Hey, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jacob and this is Vintage by Jacob. If you're new to the channel or you don't know who I am, my name is Jacob obviously, and I am a full-time online reseller of vintage and basically any type of clothing I can get my hands on and resell online. I resell full-time on the Poshmark app, and that is where I make my full-time income. Like seriously, all my checks come from the Poshmark app, which is super rad, and that's what I do for a living. But I also just booted up my Instagram as well. You can check it out here. I'll leave a picture. My handle is at vintage by Jacob _. I'm trying to tick over 1,000 followers on Instagram, so that'd be super rad if you could help me out with that. And I appreciate everybody who has helped me thus far. I really enjoy making content for that, so if you'd like to go check out some exclusive content and behind the scenes looks at some of the clothing I get and just some really cool stuff, go check out my Instagram. That would be super rad. But yeah, if you are new to the channel, you need a little bit of understanding of what I do here. Like I said, I am a full-time reseller and business owner, so I basically use this channel to document my practices as a business owner. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. A lot of my videos just take you behind the scenes of how I run my full-time online resale business, like the inventory I'm getting in, inventory I'm shipping out, different business tips. I also have a lot of different entertaining videos as well, talking about vintage clothing, some like what sold videos, some unboxing videos, some haul videos, and I just think I have a plethora of different really fun and entertaining videos that really appeal to anybody who is interested in clothing or business. Either or, doesn't matter. I think this is the perfect channel for you. And if that interests you and you'd like to see more of me, hit the subscribe button. Also hit the bell button that will notify you every single time I upload a video. That can help me out a ton. And if you would like to support this channel, hit the blue thumbs up like button. That can really help my channel. I've heard the spiel before. Hitting the thumbs up like button really helps the YouTube algorithm and can help spread my videos to larger audiences. So if you would like to support the channel, that would be a fantastic way to help. And lastly, if you'd like to talk to me, hit me up in the comment section down below. I would love to talk to you guys down there, whether it's criticism, feedback, or you just want to talk. That would be super rad. Alright, so my last video I made was a video talking about how I ended up starting a full-time resale business, and that video was super fun to make. It was kind of just like talking in front of the camera video, so I'm kind of going to do another style video of like that today. But with that being said, if you're curious about how I ended up starting my full-time resale business on Poshmark, go check out my last video. It was super fun. It was fun to get kind of more personal with you guys and give you guys a little bit of a deeper insight onto how I started my online business. Similarly, in today's video, I'm going to talk about how I have been growing and maintaining my business during a pandemic like we are in currently. So sit back, relax. I'm going to talk to you guys for a little bit about some of the tips, tricks, and just practices I've been using to just sustain my business and actually grow my business during this nationwide, actually global pandemic. And honestly, it's been a very eventful year for me as a business owner. This has actually been my largest growing year, and a majority of the year has been in the pandemic. So I just kind of want to give you guys some relatable information if you're in a similar position, or you're nervous about your business, or you're just kind of curious about how somebody like me can navigate through a time like this. I think there's going to be a lot of insightful information. So get your notepad, take some notes. I don't deem myself as a very, very intelligent person, but hopefully I can help you guys somehow with my experiences. So yeah, let's get into the video. So I'd just like to start out this video talking about the pandemic and how it has affected me personally as a reseller of clothing online. First of all, when the entire nation went into a shutdown at the beginning of the pandemic, I was concerned, much like a lot of people probably were. I didn't really know. I mean, this is the Achilles heel of my life, is reselling online. So I didn't really know if that were to fail, what I was going to do, especially with how unemployment was and everything. And thankfully, a lot of us are safe and healthy and happy, and that's like the biggest takeaway from all of this, is that, you know, we are able to get through this together. So regardless of the business and success and anything that comes along with that, health is wealth. So being happy and healthy are the most important things that I was able to take away from the pandemic. The business really is just a bonus besides that. So I'd like to start out the video stating that, but I was nervous, and I didn't really know what I was going to do, and my income was at jeopardy. And I'm a small business owner. I mean, depending on your state and everything, I mean, the unemployment situation was very tricky, especially if you are a business owner, and unfortunately a lot of businesses actually went under during this period of shutdowns and pandemic. My heart goes out to anybody who have experienced hardships during this time. But hopefully this video will help you be able to navigate a little bit better through the pandemic, and hopefully instill some hope, because I believe at the end of the day there is a lot of light at the end of the tunnel. So I guess first and foremost, the biggest thing I was nervous about was how was I going to acquire inventory to sell. And this was a major problem, and for a while it was a major problem. I mean, my business relies on me being able to source inventory, post it online, and sell it. And for the first leg of the pandemic, pretty much all of my inventory sources were shut down with the rest of the nation. That was definitely a challenge, being able to navigate through that. But there's one quote that I kind of live a lot of my life behind, or there's one quote that I kind of live a lot of my life by, and the quote is, chance favors those who are prepared. And to be honest, I don't know the roots of that quote. It might be biblical, it might not be, I have no idea, but I think it's a super powerful quote, because fortunately the previous year I worked really hard and I built up a very large surplus of inventories that I was able to actually ride out, having all my sourcing places shut down. So I mean, I guess that's just a testament to that quote. I worked my tail off the year before, and ultimately it paid off this year because I was able to sustain my business during the first leg of the shutdown. So I guess that's one of the biggest things that you can take away from this. And I mean, it's kind of common sense. You got to work hard for whatever you want in life. Nothing comes easy, and there's going to be challenges along the way with anything you do. It doesn't even have to be in business. I mean, life is hard, and life is not very forgiving sometimes. We all like to think that, you know, we can just float by day to day, and you know, everything will work out how it should be, but sometimes that's not always the case. And I'm a firm believer that the harder you work, the more consistent you are and the more persistent you are, things will be easier in the long run. And I do attribute my hard working last year to being able to ride through this pandemic somewhat easily. And I use that term very lightly because it hasn't been easy, but maybe comfortably is a better example, or maybe, I don't know, but I feel like you understand what I'm saying. So that's step number one. You got to work hard. And that's with anything you attribute to in life. So yeah, just work hard, and trust me, it'll pay off in the long run. Watch this channel for some time, you know, I love to go to the bins. That's where I get a lot of my inventory. I go to the thrift stores. That's where I get a lot of my inventory. And I also buy inventory online. But for sure, Goodwill, the bins, the thrift stores, those were all shut down in my area for the longest time at the first leg of the pandemic. And sourcing inventory online was just becoming harder and harder and harder. And it's just basic supply and demand. I mean, those people weren't able to get inventory as well. So I mean, it was a really hard time to source inventory. One thing that I did do though that really helped my business out a lot was I sourced locally. I put ads on Craigslist, Facebook. I scoured Craigslist and Facebook ads every single day and just see if I could put deals together with people. I would buy out people's closets. I would buy out anything I could find, to be honest. And that really actually helped me out a lot. I wasn't able to source as much inventory as I normally would at a thrift store or at the bins or online, but it definitely was a needed component to my business in order to sustain my current inventory, which did start to deplete a little bit at the beginning of the pandemic. To be fair, sales weren't like they used to be. Like last year, I felt like if the pandemic never happened, I would be at a totally different place this year, which probably is not true, but sales did taper off at first. There was a couple week period where I didn't think, honestly, I was really going to be able to match my income of what I was making before. But like I said, I just persisted through it. I didn't neglect myself from listing. I tried to list everything I could and try to source everything I could locally. And I ended up coming through. I mean, and I was able to build out a very nice inventory. So, I don't really know if sales are are what they used to be. Like last year, I'd have to do some comparisons, but I have far more inventory than I did last year, so it might be a skewed comparison, but it definitely was a little nerve-wracking for a while. But one of the biggest things I learned was to source locally, which I never did before, and it was actually a great way to get inventory, and I still do it to this day. So it was definitely a great lesson, and if one thing that this pandemic has provided positively for my business is I've learned different ways to navigate through things, and sourcing locally is definitely a big one that I learned. Another big thing that I did, and I guess it ties along with working hard, and really one of the most important things I did is I just stayed consistent and persistent, and I truly believe in those two qualities, because even when I didn't have inventory to list, and even when I couldn't source inventory or find anything locally, I still did everything I could just to kind of shape up my business and just make my business better every single day. Ultimately, because of that, my business is in a way healthier position than it's ever been, which is fantastic. And during this time, I truly do believe a lot of people did give up a bit and weren't able to figure out ways in order to sustain their operations. And like I said, chance favors those who are prepared. So I just wanted to make sure every single day I could do something that benefited my business. Even if I couldn't list or I couldn't ship, I would figure out ways to organize inventory better, or maybe just go and organize inventory. There was always some loose ends I could tie up with my business. So and that's just another valuable lesson I've learned to this day, is you kind of always have to be on the edge and always innovate and always create. So that's another big lesson that I learned during this pandemic, and it actually definitely led to the growth of my business. And with all of that said, as we've been navigating through this pandemic together, I'm very fortunate that my business has been able to grow. I was able to kind of stockpile cash during the initial lockdowns, and I was able to curate a ton of inventory once thrift stores started to open up. So it's been I guess a very big learning lesson for me, but with growth comes a lot of pains. So there's definitely been a lot of growing pains along the way, but ultimately looking back at it, I wouldn't have it any other way. A lot of people have been asking too about like my sales and some specific numbers and all that stuff, and even though I do like to share that stuff, I think it can be a little clickbaity, which is honestly a part of the YouTube game that I'm starting to understand. I mean, you have to kind of clickbait a little bit in order to get people's attention and your eyes on the valuable stuff, which I believe I provide in videos like this. So I'll just touch on the numbers briefly, but I would say I've been consistently at least getting $1,000 in sales per week during the pandemic. But again, I attribute that to my hard work, working hard last year to make sure I have a strong inventory in place, and ultimately not not lifting my head up and just keeping my head down and working through whatever comes to my way or whatever comes in my way. So yeah, I don't like to touch on it too much, but I mean, if it can ultimately inspire you, motivate you, and help you learn and navigate your businesses better, then I will do it. So there's that. I just want to touch that for the people who have been asking. But yeah, I mean, this was a very informal video about how I navigated through the pandemic, but I hope there was some nuggets of information you guys could take away from it. I mean, I feel like I ramble a little bit, but my thoughts are never consistent. So, and you'll learn that as you follow my channel with me. But at the end of the day, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to provide the best information I can to you guys. And hopefully I can do that through my experiences, because that's how I learn the best. So yeah, that was how I navigated and grew my business through the pandemic. These are all my clothes behind me. As you can see, my inventory is still healthy. I don't know if thrift stores are going to get shut down again, but whatever happens, whatever gets thrown my way, I'm going to figure out a way to work through it and bring you guys along the way, so you can do the same with your businesses. So that's that. I really appreciate you guys checking out this video. I hope you guys enjoy kind of this more intimate content. I actually really like making it. I think it's a great way for you guys to learn and also be entertained at the same time. So let me know in the description if you enjoy videos like this. Maybe you can just throw them in the background of whatever you're doing, playing video games or listing or whatever. But yeah, I think that's about it for today. Remember, if you want to follow my journey, hit the subscribe button. If you want to support my journey, hit the like button. And if you want to talk to me, hit me up in the comment section down below. I'd love to talk to you guys down there. But with that being said, it's Friday today, so I guess I won't see you guys until Monday. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. Yeah, and with that being said, peace out.